Hi there folks, welcome to Dunsy's Guitar World. Now normally I do guitar lessons for other people's songs, but today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. This is just a look into how I come up with tunes. I'm not going to say songs because I'm not a singer, but this is how I come up with some tunes. And I found this is such a good way. Just tuning your guitar to something different. I mean something that sounds good, not just something that sounds terrible. So this is a Jazzmaster. It's my J Mascis Jazzmaster, which at this point in time is kind of half customised. So what I've done on this is, I was just mucking around and I thought, playing a G, I thought what about if I drop the D string down to a C and get that like tuned in a fifth rather than a fourth. And then I thought, okay, I'll tune the A string down as well. So the A string is down to G. And then I went all the way and the bottom string is down to C. So the C is... Now I will say, I've got 90-42s on this guitar. And when it's in a tuning this low, it goes out of tune very easily. But that's all I've done. So the bottom string is E down to C. The A is down to G, D is down to C, and the top three strings are still the same, still G, B, E, in various states of tuning. And I just came up with that just because I was just mucking around. I mean, it simply was, I thought, I wonder if I could tune in fifths. And then I tuned a couple of strings in fifths, and I strummed it and I thought, well, that sounds good. Now, you can't strum all the strings and play normal chords, doesn't quite. Although it does kind of. I guess then what you have to do is you have to work out how to find notes, and because you can't play your normal chords. So the first thing I started doing was, now this is leading up to, at the end of this video I will do the whole tune with all the effects and stuff I've put on this guitar, but this is really just to show you how simple it was just to put this together. So the first thing I'm doing is just the open bottom string and then the 12th fret of the 5th and 4th strings. I won't say the names of the strings because they're retuned. So it's just that, just go. And then just put my finger down on the 10th fret of the bottom string and play 12 of the 5th string and then the open 3rd string. So that's changing. And once you put a lot of effects on that, it sounds great, it sounds really, really good. I can't remember what amp I was using on the tune, but it sounds really good. I'm not using a lot of distortion at this point in time. I'm just playing through a small Fender amp just on my Kemper because I don't want to do too much distortion. So I let that run for a while and I did some atmospheric keyboards. The sort of sound I'm going here is for like a cross between Levitation era Hawkwind and God, that sounds right, and Dinosaur Jr. That's the sort of sound I'm going for. So there's a lot of sort of atmospheric keyboards and some sort of just Dinosaur Jr. riffs, but in a crazy tuning. So then the next bit, I went to just now all that is, that's the bottom string open, 7th fret of the 5th string, and the 5th fret of the 4th string, and then we move the 5th string down to the 5th fret and the 4th string down to the 4th fret. And I'm catching like the open G on the way back up. So I did that for a while and I added different atmospheric keyboards and like a different bass line to sort of to outline a bit of melody. And then when we get into the main verse, I say it's not a verse, there's not any lyrics in it, and I turn on the overdrive a lot. I was playing that riff again, but I was finishing it different. I was doing this. Now all that is just I'm barring across the 3rd fret and putting my pinky down on the 5th fret of the D string, then move that up 2, and then back to. And then when we get further on, maybe that's the verse, I can't remember, I'm playing this chord like a C, I can't remember, a C7 or something, but it won't be because I've completely changed the tuning. But it's the 3rd fret of the 5th string, the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and the 4th fret of the G string, and then barring across the 1st fret of the B and E string. Now I'm not sure this will be in tune because these strings are so skinny on this guitar when it's so tuned, but I'm just sort of playing this kind of cleanish. Just those 2 chords, and then when you add a lot of reverb and a lot of chorus, it just sounds great. Just those 2 chords there. I mean, I don't know if this will stay in tune. You could do a lot of that. I think I did actually. With a lot of reverb and delay, like for a bit of shoegaze. And if I'll stay in tune. And then to go back into the noisy bit, I just came up with this little bit. I actually came up with this little bit when I was sitting on my couch. I was just sitting thinking I need to join these 2 parts together, and I was just sitting on the couch going do 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 do, and I think I maybe got that from somebody else's song, but I changed it into. And I just came up with that in my head. I came through here and then worked it out. I'm a terrible singer. And that's pretty much the whole song. Different levels of gain, different atmospheric keyboards, changing the bass line a bit as well. And I think at the end there's a bit of melody as well, and I added some sort of harmony, just single harmony notes in as well. So what I'll do is I'm going to make a video that's at the end of this, just sort of putting it all together. It's all recorded, I'll just sort of play one of each part and then put that together in the video with some sort of atmospheric graphics. So yeah, what to do is if you're kind of struggling for inspiration and your normal sort of G, C, D chords, you're not hearing anything that wants to sort of take you further, your ear's not thinking, well, I could do this, do that, just go for a tuning that, like I say, just muck about. Even if you're just playing like I don't know, say a G bar chord or something like that, but then change the tuning of all the strings, so you're playing the G bar chord just with that, and that's all I did. And I came up with the tuning and I thought that sounds really nice, just the tuning on its own. And then just put a few bits to it. I was just sitting for ages going. And then fired on some overdrive and went for the. And that was it. So that's today's video, folks. If I can help anybody on the way along to writing some tunes, putting some bits of music together, I do hope that has been helpful. The final part of the video is just me playing those riffs with a lot of overdrive and a lot of effects and stuff. As ever, folks, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on Dunsy's Guitar World. Cheers for now.